Today I'm going to be showing you how to paint Deathwing terminators to a tabletop standard. So hi everyone, I decided I'm going to start doing a few painting tutorials where I show how I get certain models up to just a really simple tabletop standard. Just enough paint to get it on the table and play. Nothing too fancy and techniques that everybody is able to use. And we're going to start with Deathwing Terminators today because I personally play Dark Angels and I love the Terminators in that army. And I think the bone colour is a really nice colour for these models, and the cloths and various other parts of the armour I paint green to match the green wing part of the army, like your normal Space Marine units. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, maybe suggest other models that you'd like to see done, because I personally only have like Dark Angels, Orcs and a few Tyranid models. So they're the sort of things that I'll paint. But if there are any special requests, make sure to leave them in the comments because I'd love to branch out a bit. So enjoy. So the first thing that you're wanting to do is make sure that all of your models are primed in a white base coat. This will allow us to get most of the colour from just using a wash on this first layer. So for the bone coloured areas, we're going to use Seraphim Sepia. Just give it a nice even wash all over the model where you want the bone coloured armour. Make sure to get all the recesses so that it's nice and dark, and later we're going to highlight these areas to get them to that nice crispy bone colour. Next up is the green, and for this we're going to use Dark Angels green, or you can use Caliban green if you don't want to use a contrast paint. What you want to do is make sure you have a nice clean palette, clearly. Just load up your brush and then put it all on your palette so that you haven't got way too, like, if you have too much on your brush when it comes to contrast paint, it can block out the colour underneath and it won't have that nice shadow and highlight effect that contrast paints are designed to do. You want to paint the little side hip bits of armour, any cloth areas, and I like to do the power fists in green as well. Now we're going to move on to highlighting all of the bone armour we've just done using Ushabti Bone. We're going to do this by dry brushing. So to do that, you need to load up on your dry brush, or in this case I'm using a makeup brush. I find they're really useful for doing dry brushing. I just find them better than any purpose-made dry brushes from like Games Workshop or something. So load up your paint on the brush, then you want to work it into the bristles onto a piece of paper towel to get as much paint off as possible, so that when you then go back and forth on your model, well, try to just go back or forth, only go one direction. Once you're doing that, the paint will only catch the highest points and it will create a really natural and effective highlight. Now we're going to repeat the process that we just did with Ushabti Bone using Screaming Skull. It is a slightly lighter bone colour and you want to do it on just a smaller area than what you've done before to make it the highest highlights. So I only tried to do the very top areas of the model as if though the light is coming down from directly above it. Now for all the red areas, we're going to use Blood Angels Red or Mephiston Red if you don't want to use the contrast. The red areas include the gun. If it's got a chain fist, I like to do the actual chainsword part using red, and the eyes as well. Make sure not to miss the eyes. For all of the metal areas, we're going to use Leadbelcher, a nice metallic paint. This can be all the sections on the gun, the little pipe that runs from the gun hand to the shoulder, the little mouthpiece on the helmet, and various other bits of the armour. Then similarly to the last step, we're going to use Balthasar Gold for all of the gold areas. There are some leg ornamentations, and on the right shoulder pad of the Terminator there will be a nice Dark Angels emblem. For all of the rope areas and any leather parts you might have, I'm going to use Mournfang Brown. It's a nice red-brown base, not too dark, quite light. I don't like making my models too dark because I feel like it kind of drowns out colours. Maybe a bit more realistic to do it that way, but I like having bright and warm colours. Now we're done with all the base coats and the highlighting on the bone. What we're going to do is use Nuln Oil and just give that a nice wash over all the bits that we've just done aside from the bone coloured armour. So that's your leather, your gold, your metal, all the red bits and the green areas. Once that has dried, I'm going to go in with Evil Sunz Scarlet to highlight all the red components that we painted earlier. I tried to leave the deepest, darkest recesses as the Mephiston red or the Blood Angels red that we painted earlier to create that nice contrast. Then the same as what we just did with the red, we're going to go with Warpstone Glow on all of the green areas, going on the raised areas to try and make them pop just that bit more. To highlight all the brown areas, I'm going to use Skrag Brown. This is a very reddish brown because, like I said, I like these warm, punchy colours to really make all the areas pop and not to drown out any of the colours. And finally, we're going to highlight all of the green areas that we just did in Warpstone Glow with Moot Green. You can use this as an edge highlight or just the very tippy-toppy areas of all the green bits we've already painted. And that's your Deathwing Terminators complete. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I am no expert, which is why I'm trying to do these really simple tutorials, get the very basics done. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. Even maybe a subscribe. And if you want to see anything in particular, leave a comment in the comment section below. I would kind of like to do maybe some Blood Angels or some other chapter of Space Marine, because I've got a tactical squad that I need to paint up, and I'm not sure if I'm that fussed about making them Dark Angels, so I could use them for different chapters of Space Marine. If you like that idea, just let me know, and thanks for watching.